Then I'll get Tina to do one check.
Okay.
It'll be the last check you get from me.
Is it true? Just make sure you make it out to CRCF and on the memo for Renville's grant.
Okay.
That way you'll get,
She did.
thank
Sorry
you from them
about
with your donation. Text me. I can.
I still gotta get a Father's Day card. All right, I still got a couple days yet. Oh, is he doing? Is he doing that? From
Hello.
Hi, Lens.
from where he was to where he is today. Unbelievable.
There's a packet for you.
Absolutely.
Oh, did you? Okay, good.
Thank you, sir.
Well, what I did was I saved it to my computer and I sent it.
You never sent it to me. Okay, all right, I gotta, now I can
She says she can't turn.
give you a report.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get it.
Oh, if I would have known that, I would have sent it to you because we got it. It's
She's
in your
having a
packet.
technical error.
Okay.
So I say we start.
Oh, she's here. You want a whole packet? You've got, yep, what's your whole packet? You've got audit first.
She's there.
Like, where is she at?
Friends.
Hi, Mimi.
Can you believe this? I'm not at that party. I don't know how to get that screen off. This power strip died, so I gotta find a new one.
Like she's here.
Oh my God. It's just lovely. I gotta get that screen off. None. There you go.
All right.
Okay.
Kathy, are you good?
Yes, I'm good.
All right, so we'll call the meeting to order. Kathy will take the roll.
Mayor Elio.
Here.
Lens Marshall.
Here.
Colleen Taggerty.
Here.
Mimi Unetsko.
Here.
John Crawford.
Here.
J.R. Benyon.
Here.
Or Dave Crucci.
I'll be here.
Okay, reading and approval of the March 17th audit finance governance committees. The first one in your pack is the audit committees. To accept them.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by John, second.
I'll second.
Colleen, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next in your packet is the finance committees.
Mimi will make a motion.
Amy, is that Dave?
Yes.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. And then last is the governance committee.
Motion.
John motions, David seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. And then the regular meeting minutes.
Mimi will make a motion.
Motions to accept, second.
Second.
John, discussion? Favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Actions, bills and communications. We have the one here, Carrie put it in your bag, or you have to put in your packet for the Tri-County Yards Council mural. Letter just was thanking us for the donation and that it went to the mural project.
I had mentioned something to the mayor. That we should, this is the first time that this organization has given money away, ever. And nobody knows about it. I think there should be some type of press release or something, giving this check away. I mean, the community has no clue that the OLDC even is alive. I mean, and it's been around since 2006. So we just, I mentioned something to the mayor and he said he was in favor that we would, sit down and talk about it and do something. I've been sort of busy lately trying to get things in order, but
Well, would you like me to put something together and have it blessed by you all? And then we can get it out. I mean, it's not difficult.
Yes, please. I see everybody nodding their head. You can't hear them, but yes. Is that okay, Mayor?
I'm good with it.
All right.
Thank you, Mimi.
All right. No other bills of communications. Report of the treasurer.
We have, well, I'm looking at this and I took a picture of the checkbook and just the running tab here in the checkbook, and I'm still that $72 off. So I have not deducted the $72 yet. So I'm gonna have to, because I knew it wasn't right. Just in my head, the numbers just weren't coinciding on what it was going back and forth with the year. So I am gonna balance the $72 out, and then it will be right on the money. And we still haven't figured out where we're going with that $72 in the future, correct?
So, well, my point was to go ahead and file the tax just maybe next month and see if we still need that fees to be taken out every year. So if we still need it, we're gonna keep it on. If we don't,
Oh,
Okay,
it's a fee.
it's a
Oh.
fee. Yes, it's a tax
I was like,
filing.
what
fee.
is it? Okay.
I did find that out.
Okay.
So
Okay.
And then, so we have this, Dave, and that's what you're on the spot, but you have to submit a balance sheet for the Paris reporting. Whenever we meet, we'll make out like a balance sheet. Remember that Fred used to give us? It would just show like checks in, checks out, show the assets. You know what I mean?
no,
Okay. There's some on file from Fred's old ones.
I can forward you. Fred's
It's just
old
a
one.
fill in, it's just fill in the blank.
that's no problem.
Yep.
I didn't know you needed it, or you had it today.
Then it goes
So,
with, no, that's fine. Then it goes in with the packet for Paris and Carrie. That's it.
okay, I'll do it. No
And
problem.
if you just copy his, it's literally, it just lays it all out what it is.
Okay, perfect. Get it to me and I'll fill it out and we'll go from there. I'm gonna have a little bit more time now.
You don't sound happy at all.
All right. So then we have what? There's a 39,149, no,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
39,
39,149.52 is the ending balance.
correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Because the only out was $1,000.
That is correct.
Gave to Tri-County.
Yep.
Okay, is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved.
A second, John, discussion? All those in favor, opposed? Carries. No committees met. Unfinished business, Bill, have they made any headway on that Oaks advertising?
Well, every time we change attorneys, it takes a while to get an opinion out of them. So I'm still waiting on Jack to give me an opinion. There's been a lot of other things going on, so I'll.
That's fine, it's just-
I was doing,
You understand?
yeah.
Okay,
Well, can I just say something to that? Then?
Yeah.
This is my only thinking on this, is that we've been talking about this for 2 years. And it just seems like the longer we wait and not have an answer, it's possible that we could be losing a lot of opportunity for revenue to come in. And so I'm wondering if there is a way, I mean, I understand that this is not high priority for a city attorney, but if we have to have the city attorney's opinion, is there a way that we could at least get something, a report of something at our next meeting? So I just feel like we're losing a lot of opportunity. If the answer is yes, we can do it.
Well, here's what's going on also. We're getting requests from youth hockey to do stuff on the boards. We're getting requests from our own people to do advertisements on the boards. So, it's gonna be a council decision once Jack gives me a final word on this, on which way we're gonna go.
So, I look at Brenner Stadium with the Oilers, right? All of those people are supporting the Oilers.
Yeah, the Oilers go out and
Right.
solicit that, so.
Right. So I just feel like those people that would support if the answer is yes. So I would, if there's a way to get that moving, like we've just been talking about.
I'm not gonna lie, Bill, it's been so long. What exactly were we waiting for the opinion on?
Well, if
If
you
the
go,
city could sell it?
that's one of the
We
things.
could, because we're.
No, right, but I'm saying,
Not the city.
originally it was because the city didn't know if the city could sell the advertising space.
That's correct.
That was the question. I don't know why, but that was the question. I think Nick, right, back was checking.
Yes.
Because they didn't know if they could directly sell that space as the city, so they thought about coming back
So
through
schools
here.
can't do that. Schools are not allowed to give up space for advertising to
Oh.
businesses.
Oh,
If
Whereas-
you want to do something and sponsor it yourself as a person, you can do something, but you can't do it with businesses. So we were
With
looking to see.
the
if we-
Oilers leasing the stadium, or running the stadium,
do it.
that's how they can do it.
oh, I see.
Yeah, that's what Nick determined back
Right,
years ago, so.
And there was a whole signage policy through the council actually that dictates where banners can be placed in the stadium.
I mean, if the city can't directly, but you're a separate organization, couldn't you
Right.
just lease that space from the city for $1?
that's. my
That's
thinking.
what the question was.
That's the
That's-
question.
And we've been waiting.
Oh, you're
years-
right on.
years
You
for this.
are right on.
So it just seems like we should be able to get it.
That was the question, whether they could just lease the rights to.
Gotcha,
Right,
The
at least
advertising
for a dollar.
rights.
gotcha. Okay. I don't think the city would, I don't think the council would have any problem with that as long as that gets the sign off from Jack.
So, okay. So we'll just get something back next meeting.
That's all.
All right. The next thing was the housing rehab fund, the selection criteria. So in your packets, it is not set up for this. Carrie has just provided this. It's from the Boost Business Grant, just as a model. And then working together with us in this room to come up with our own selection criteria for that housing rehab fund that was recently done. Whatever you want to, use as a rubric. So,
So is there, Carrie's not here, but there has to be more to what this means, right? Like is feasibility defined somewhere?
well, the boost, yeah,
Well,
John,
This is just for the Boost business, so the feasibility of their business. So if we're gonna do a housing rehab, it's gonna be, your criteria is gonna change. It's gonna have all different
No, I
language.
understand that, but I guess if we're like, I'm a firm believer, if somebody's already invented it, then why would we reinvent it?
Right,
So if there's a rubric that's already put together, I'm just asking, just if this as the example, feasibility, what does that mean? If I'm gonna score feasibility, what am I scoring against the definition of feasibility?
we may change, and I get your point, but we may change and take feasibility off.
No, I
for
understand.
ours.
I
Yeah,
just- But whether it's demonstrating
Right.
need, what's that mean? In the sense of, high demonstration of need to low demonstration of need, there needs to be
well,
something sort of broken up.
need for this, for the Boost business would be if the business was struggling through the pandemic, if, like road construction, if there was any need that has affected their business, then they would come at a more priority.
Feasibility, so when we define feasibility, it just meant the likelihood of a successful project, right? That
You're not giving what I'm asking. I understand that. You
Yeah.
see, in schools, okay, there's a criteria, you have these for your criteria. And then you have like a 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the rubric. With 1 being a very low demonstration of need of visibility, and 4 being a very high demonstration. And that's to find out, what does that mean? And so that I, as a scorer, have some type of criteria to score it against. That's what I'm asking.
So
A more defined rubric than just,
the question would be, did Carrie have an actual rubric for, based off of these breakdowns
As a template.
for the committee? I wasn't on the committee, so whoever was on the business, Mayor, were you on that?
Yes.
Was there a grading rubric that,
thank
as you
that's
guys
what I'm
went,
trying to say.
that you guys went through?
We didn't have a sheet with a numeric on it. We talked about everything and said,
Right.
okay, what is
Okay,
your,
so it's
what is their
subjective. open
need?
to-
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
But I agree with you, Colleen. I think that's probably the way to do it. And it's easy enough.
Yeah,
Just
it's not
like you said, 1 through 4. And then everybody goes through and circles, right?
Mhm.
Whatever you determine is the breakdown. And yeah,
Because then everyone is bringing something to the table.
right.
Everybody has already looked at it. It isn't like we're throwing we've already looked at this, and in my opinion,
Right,
I think it's a 4. In your opinion, you may think it's a 1.
right.
So now I'm gonna tell you why I think it's a 4, and you're gonna tell me why you think it's a 1, instead of just going around the table and wondering, where are we gonna get with this?
Well, and it also
I think-
allows all of us to collectively compile it, create an average, and then rank the projects.
Mhm.
And it also gives us documentation of the process
Right.
being non-subjective.
Right.
What's going to be somewhat subjective.
Yeah.
But a little less.
Yeah.
Okay, so she did like a 20% here, so you could, for their feasibility, so it'd be 1 through 20, you could do a 10%. You would feel like there's only a 10%, and then this all adds up to 100%. So you'd
No,
be scoring it.
again, I understand that, but this is 100% subjective with no criteria for me to base anything against.
No.
That's all I'm
That
saying.
would
I
be like
could
a
help, once we determine what are the criteria,
Right.
I could help build that. I
Yeah, and I could too.
Yeah,
I mean,
so I guess,
that's-
I guess the question then is, what do we want to see for criteria?
That was
That-
the
that's-
original-
That was the original question.
That's a good question.
This is for our housing project.
I mean, are we just open to discussion?
Yeah.
I would think overall just impact on the individual need, right? And again, right, like somebody doesn't have a roof, or that impacts their livelihood or their life, right? Their health and well-being. That's something that's critical. So I would say somebody just general overall impact on the individual.
Is it need? I mean, or is it just, what I'm saying is somebody's just doesn't want to spend the money to do it, but they want to come to us and have us pay for it. But they have the funds, you know what I'm trying to, I mean, does it go on income? Does it go on?
That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking
see,
about.
yeah, does it go on the income of the person? They just don't want to fix their house, but now there's a possibility they can get the money from us for free. Now they're applying for money, so then the criteria is that one of the 3 or 4 things that we have in criteria, is it income?
In the real estate portion of the grant that we did for the boost, that was demonstrate hardship.
Yeah.
Is able
Yeah,
to,
there you go.
is able to demonstrate hardship.
Yes.
So that was one of the grading criteria that we used. Demonstrates need, that's on this
Yeah.
one, but also, yes, you had to demonstrate financial hardship, because I mean, we didn't want, and not that just to use them as an example, right? Like, we don't want to be comparable, like, we know they're successful, right? They're not a struggling downtown business type of thing.
Was there an income guideline already?
No, there's not an income guideline on the housing unit.
No, I don't want Carrie Road, right? There's not.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say about, I mean, if we go strictly, not strictly, but if we base a lot of it on income and need, there's a lot of people who may have the income, but they still have a need for help. you may have, and that comes to mind because I ran into this last night, you may have a struggling mother who's working 2 jobs to make ends meet, so maybe that puts her just over the income level. So,
And that's why you need a range.
Yeah.
You absolutely need a range.
yeah,
Now, do we, is it somewhere in here to where there's matching funds? Like,
Yes.
the person that owns the house
It's a
puts up,
yes, it's a match.
yes, puts up 2,500, and then we'll put up 25, just pick the number out of the air. Then we match the 2,500 to get it done. Okay, I'm just asking.
So that would be a criteria, their ability to actually match what we.
Yeah, I think that's laid out. If not already, I don't see a copy of it.
I think it is too. I remember reading
I
that.
can't remember, but it says something.
Yep,
that
you do have to be
It's a percentage match up to $1
Yeah.
amount or something.
Yeah.
There is.
But-
And along with hardship, you could also rank, you could rank what it is. I mean, if you're sitting there with 2 projects and somebody's got a hole in their roof, I'm gonna rank that over somebody that just wants to put up a deck.
And that would go.
Right, or fix a porch, you're right. Yep, I agree.
If it's basic structural components, then that should be rated higher than,
Safety, and kind of a safety issue.
you know, I'm just saying that a new roof is more important than vinyl siding.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Or broken, falling down porch is going to be more important than inside the house.
Exactly. So, you know, it's kind of a little bit different than a hardship. Hardship is their personal hardship, but just ranking of the project based on structure.
So structural safety,
Yeah, structural
I like
safety
that,
should,
structural safety.
I agree. In essence, I'm good with just throwing stuff out and just, if it's not a good idea, that's fine. What about like impact on the neighborhood? Is that something?
Gotta
I
be
was,
there.
I was thinking the same. thing.
Gotta be there. That is huge. Yes.
Because we all know there's maybe, you know, the 1 or 2 houses in our neighborhoods that needs TLC. That
Now, can we, I have a question now. Can we go ask someone to do it? Like there's 2 houses in the neighborhood that are a little run down. Is that something that we can say, hey, you know, we'd like to, would you like us to help you upgrade your house? Or are you at all interested in upgrading your house?
No, I think we could take referrals from code enforcement.
There we go.
That might be the way to do it.
Yeah.
There we go.
I would hesitate
Yeah.
about us.
John, backing up to yours, you're thinking of grading a rubric of which project's gonna have the greater impact aesthetically on the neighborhood. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah,
I just wanted to circle back to that. So we can-
no, that's it.
Okay,
If, you know, something that, yes, will overall improve the aesthetics of the neighborhood.
You know, what I'm thinking is if they've got several violations and stuff, especially structurally with the home, that they can, they could
Especially-
refer out to us and
Yeah.
then just reach out and say, hey, we have this program to help you.
I like that idea.
So,
yeah, especially even if they're not all of them, they'll just the ones that they flag for structural
Oh, yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
electrical and stuff. I believe part of this is it's all owner occupied. Yes,
yeah, I would be opposed to.
I'm making sure that
Well, we're not doing a rental.
No, we said it had to be.
No. That's definitely out.
we don't have to pay. I'm just confirming that that's what it was, but I thought that that's what it
Has
was.
to be owner occupied, but it doesn't have to be a single family, so I can own a duplex as long as I live on the other side.
Correct.
Or
Correct.
above.
Yeah, correct. So I can rent part and live in part.
And no applications from Cuba Lake, so.
So hardship, structural safety,
Impact on neighborhood.
impact on neighborhood.
Has the ability to, I just got that from. Structural, then I have the demonstrate need, which is the impact of seriousness, which goes back to structural safety. Income, demonstrate hardship, that's it.
Would you have to have the principal to match?
Yeah, I've got the ability to match that, so principal to match that, that's
And I think that's probably
it is, but it's not bad to keep it there.
but it should be a max score every single time is what I was getting at because it's part of the grant requirement.
I mean, they could be those 5 requirements right there.
Yeah, we
Right,
need a lot.
ability to match, that's the fifth, that's another one, right?
I guarantee you will get people that will submit a new one.
I know.
It happens often. It can happen.
Now, when we do something like this,
I
we're
guess
gonna
I'd say
get
that the-
before and after pics and all that.
It gets
kind of
cost
stuff, right?
automatically.
So really, it's gonna take a
So
time
that's
for
a
us to
wonderful-
go look at it.
Match it, match.
It's gonna be a little bit of a commitment from us to, whether we look at pics or whether we look at something else, to look at what we're, I mean, somebody writes it, it comes in writing and with no pictures or nothing else, how do you, without going over and looking at it, how do you grade it? Yeah, I mean,
Well, anything,
but
anything mostly, we could get some information back from codes.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. If Codes brings it to us, they're gonna have pictures already.
Well, because if it's a roof, they gotta get a roofing and siding permit. If they're fixing a porch, they gotta have, they're gonna have to talk to codes at some point.
Yeah,
That, if you're not changing the size, then no. So there's, you gotta remember, there is a catch. You don't always, if I just take out a window and put the exact same window in, I don't need a building permit.
okay.
As long as I don't change the size of the structure. Same with the door. If I pop the door out, pop the door, and I don't need a permit from anybody.
Okay.
Same with, I believe, a porch. As long as I'm staying, I'm just repairing the existing, I don't think you technically need to until you change the size. We can confirm that. So I'm saying there are some projects that we might not have code involved.
Okay, it's right, but we have to be able to see that it's really there.
Well, that would be in the, when they sign the agreement that they have to secure all necessary permits and, I think that's what we have in that. I think we have that in the Bruce business, and that any permitting, they have to secure that. Sorry about that. Excuse me.
So are we good with just those criteria and then developing them a little bit?
Do you remember, Kathy, and I hate to come back to you, sorry. Is there pictures, is a requirement, because you can't say, we can't bank on necessary permits. I just told you, there's a number of projects, there are no permits. So was the, I believe pictures were part, wasn't picture something was involved in Gary's layout of the thing, didn't we talk about some of these?
I can
pictures?
check and see. I don't remember photos being in there.
I feel like I remember it, don't quote me, but
We can definitely add,
okay.
and add language.
All right, yeah, we just have, because there's not always gonna be a permit.
Right.
And quite honestly, codes usually don't need to go out and look at your roof when you apply for a re-roof, but they just go up there, you tell them how many squares, they sign off on it, it's done.
I'll follow up on.
That's good.
Like you said, that is something we can add to the
Add to the
agreement that they
requirement.
need to provide photos.
Because it might be in there, but I just don't remember.
Okay.
Are there any exclusions as far as projects go? Or not this time? I'm just, somebody wants to have the swimming pool. I don't know. Is there like,
No, that's not,
there's no
an eligible,
exclusions?
there's
per se?
an eligible item list. I can.
There is
forward-
an eligible item. list.
Yep, I can
Okay,
forward
okay.
it to you.
All right, cool. Yeah.
Again, yeah,
Exactly.
we've sent it out. I'll send it out again.
Okay, sorry if I missed it.
So what about
Soon as
somebody's paint is peeling off the house?
They're doing what?
The paint is peeling off.
The paint is peeling out? I don't think that's,
So repainting,
yeah.
Then I know this guy for like past 11 years. And it's, still.
I will
so-
send you all the eligible items.
We'll just send it out to all of us, you know.
just send out.
Just update it, so, yeah, it's just send it.
I just need somebody to paint the place, okay?
Because then
Give it like.
once we
I have a good painter.
change some things.
But we're not gonna go on this criteria today, right? We
No.
were just brainstorming it
We're just
out.
brainstorming it out. So
So we can start from there and then our
Yeah.
next meeting review
Yeah,
and
we could,
add and then. go from
because the
there.
minimum and maximum awards, they're kind of laid out in the program requirements, so you don't really need to do anything there.
Right.
This is gonna be, the application due dates is really ongoing, so none of that's gonna be there, and that's it. So the only other thing that you need to quickly discuss is how much of a weight feel like you want to put on each one.
How do we get it out to the public?
We used to put it on our social
Put it
media.
on
and-
social media and then
Well, again, here we are, we're going through this. I think we figure something out how to get
A little press
something
release.
in the, oh, yeah.
There's only
You
so
know,
many
we gotta-
projects we can do a
We
year
gotta
ago.
use them to, I mean, we don't even get somebody in the meetings anymore. We used to have a, what's his name was sitting here
Bob Clark?
for every meeting. And so we don't even get, someone in here now to,
Is he on, is Bob on that?
No, he's not.
that, you know, so that it's even an inkling that it's coming. So we've sort of just been, you know, we're on a shelf somewhere and we gotta get off the shelf and get into the public eye.
And maybe we do that once we have our act together. Like, I don't think.
Well, no, I'm just saying, even though now, even with the check here, we need to get that out there that the OLDC is alive and well and we've actually donated money.
We got Mimi for that.
so
Maybe he's gonna do that.
Mimi, you got that?
in terms of like what percentage with what you have, do you want to see for like a weight?
And there's gotta be a beginning date and any date. I mean, are we doing, we're not gonna do this in the middle of the winter. are we?
Home construction.
Right.
well,
We can do inside. Yeah, we could do inside. Okay,
Absolutely.
yeah, all right.
That's all laid out in that requirement stuff, so
Alright.
you can like,
Alright.
peruse that.
I mean, I was just gonna say, if everything's weighted equally, and it saves the math, it makes it
It does
really
save the
easy.
math, but
to
if
eat.
structural safety should be probably a higher value than
Sure.
ability to match, like I was telling
Sure,
Colleen, that's
yeah.
part of the program requirement, so it could be.
Yeah.
Let's say that's 10%, then you could put more on structural and safety.
Yep, I agree. Structural safety, and I think demonstrates need are probably
Those are my two
the
highest.
two highest.
My might be the two highest.
So if those are 30% and 30%.
Put 30 there. I mean, ability to match could honestly be a 10, because it's part of that requirement,
Mhm.
and then
We have a 2 or 15 then. We gotta
you
get
could
to
leave
100.
another 2 at 15, or if one's weighted more. Impact on the neighborhoods probably,
I'd say leave the other two at 15, because I think impact on the neighborhood is huge. I just do.
well, that's what I was gonna say, I think the impact on the neighborhood is actually more important than hardship, because hardship is kind of gonna be weighted in that demonstrates the need in the other one a little bit.
But I don't know if I agree with you, because, I mean, it's one of those things where, let's say I'm in a neighborhood that isn't so good anyway. And I can't afford to do anything, and the house is structurally, let's say the foundation is caving in. That house is gonna fall if I don't get it. You're not gonna see impact on the neighborhood. You're gonna see the safety and security and all of that stuff being high.
I didn't disagree with that, structural safety is still in need, I said hardship.
But that's hardship too. I mean, I just think hardship is. If I'm poor, but I also think that impact on the neighborhood is important, so. I just think hardship is huge.
So we put them at both 15.
Yep.
Okay, and then Kathy will send out the stuff, or do we just shoot that program back out to everybody?
We'll shoot the
So-
program back out and I'll update the criteria and I'll send that all out.
Maybe this has been said before, JR, I don't know, but, you know, we should try to look to collaborate with those programs that do the stuff for free around town. What's that? Is it RRC? No, there's one,
On response.
there's Bonner Response, but there's the one.
Rehab Today.
Rehab Today.
Oh, not the other grantees? Okay, RRC does grants. too.
Right, but is it Rehab Today or whatever? They'll
Yeah.
come and paint somebody's house.
Yes,
And I know because I've sent a couple of my constituents to talk to them and they have a form to fill out and they've been declined because they just miss the income qualification for that program like this, where they could refer them to this program, right? They might be able to take it, you know, they get declined because she has her husband's pension, but it's, just barely what, 20,000 a year or something stupid, right? It puts them out so she can't get her house painted for free, but a program like this would be perfect for them. So if they, who everybody knows about, if they just knew about this program when it's up and running, to refer people they decline to use our program, that would be.
Yeah, at least to apply.
Right. At least to
At
apply.
least to
And that
apply.
which goes back to your point, how do we get it out there?
That's correct.
But you could also, if they even read that this week, John, they could actually stretch the dollar further. Because if they can qualify and take finance responsible to do the work.
Right.
Now that entire thing could go towards material rather than labor.
I just, there could be a great way to
Is
collaborate.
rehab today the one that goes, who does the big painting? Is that final response?
No, I think
Rebuilding together.
building together.
Rebuilding
Thank you.
together.
That's the other one that goes out and paints the house,
Yeah.
does the painting.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
Dave, you said the other one was rehab today.
Rehab today.
So rehabilitation.
Is that the one that Jim Finch was involved
Jim
in?
Finch was the
Yep.
rehab to rehabilitation together, correct?
Yeah.
And Bonner responds is Jim Mahar.
Yeah.
Yes.
So who's on the rehabilitation together now? Somebody,
You got that, mean?
you know, Bill?
I don't know.
Oh, if you guys are getting mixed up, rehabilitation today, that's like a therapy rehab thingy out on Constitution Avenue.
I was thinking two of
That's
the
why
two of them?
I thought it sounded familiar.
I think David's thinking of rebuilding together, which was Christmas in April. So I don't think there's a third, but that
Did it get a new name, mean? Did it change name?
used to be Christmas in April and we held it in July. And then they changed it to rebuilding together.
Is that the one Jim Finch was involved in?
Yep. And now it's Cooper, what's his face? Sue Cooper's husband,
Oh, yeah.
Wayne.
Wait,
Yeah.
yep.
So it's just the two then?
I believe
Other and Bonner.
would rural revitalization have anything?
They do grants.
Okay.
I mean, they could be in conjunction, but yes, they do grants for. So doesn't Cattaraugus,
Community action.
Community action.
thank you.
Maybe that's all.
CCA, they drive through the panel vans.
Mhm.
RRC does it through like PC Richards does the work, local contractors, or CCA does their own.
There might be an opportunity to sit down at a table with everybody and just. You brought up a good point, right? It's just leverage that can be utilized. They need a new front porch and Bonner Response is going to do the labor, but they could apply for the money right from this to buy the material. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, this is starting to sound.
This is
This is
actually
starting to
exciting.
sound. Yeah, this is starting to sound like fun.
All right, so anything else on this? As long as we get that program, then we can come up with the grading factors. that
Right.
you alluded to.
And like I said, we can rethink this and give us.
Right, so, yeah, once now we have that program,
Right, we-
then you can plug the definitions into that for the scale.
But we also can look at the percentages as we're thinking, if we think we want to shift when we can.
All right.
This is just the initial brainstorm. This is just a drill.
So then the next thing in your packet is the SOP on the request for funds. And this is the one, Kathy, this is the one that came out of the mural one, right?
Yes.
So that we'll do no more than 5,000 for the year. And this was not to exceed 1,000 per. So up to 1,000, 5,000 on the year. Was this just for, we don't need to do anything with this, correct? Did we
No,
already have
We
this?
already had this, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Information.
Yes. And then the bylaws revision of new business. Well, actually, is there any other old business that we forgot? Okay. Under new business, the bylaws revision, Is that in here?
Yep.
It's already written in this one, yes.
The old one is here, and then the new one was in your email, and also,
We'll just read the way that the old one read.
Yep. is under section 4. Quorum. It says, all meetings of the corporation, a majority of the board of directors of the corporation shall constitute a quorum for the purposes of transacting business, provided that a smaller number may meet and adjourn at some other or until the quorum is obtained. And the suggested change was to add a majority of the voting members of the board of directors.
So just adding that verbiage in the middle.
Yes.
Is there a motion to accept it?
So,
Second by David, discussion?
Yeah, I know with the common council, the quorum is always 4. Okay? Not the majority of who's in attendance. So you have a board of 7, but the quorum is always 4. So I don't know, we're considered a public corporation, right? I don't know if that comes into effect there also. I think with the school board, was it how many members, was it the majority of who was present? Or was it a quorum, the majority of the board?
the quorum originally was of the board. Not who was present.
The difference being like with what you referred to, Bill, with the council, is all of the council has voting rights. So it's still a majority of the voting members. The same would hold true for that.
Right.
Where this board, for a certain percentage of you don't have voting rights. So the quorum, you could end up in a period where there's a quorum of a majority of the board members would only need 2 voting members. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, but is that somewhere we want to go to have 2 people voting things in?
No, that's why
That's
why
we're
we're
changing
doing
it.
this, to say that you need a majority of the voting positions. Right now, you could come in here and conduct business. I could get all the non-voting members and me and John or Colleen, whatever, me and one other person can come in here and we can conduct business and none of the other ones will need to be
All
here.
right.
Sorry if I explained it wrong when we did it before. That's to stop what you just were talking about.
Good.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We need a motion to file the taxes through the BWE stuff and that to Paris and all that. We need an actual motion to direct Lens to file our tax returns.
So,
Second.
So we have a motion to
Thank you,
file the tax returns, seconded by John. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Any other new business? Anybody new? Okay. Yes. Executives, so a motion for adjournment.
So move.
David,
Second.
John, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Hey, Meme.
Bye,
Thank you,
Mimi.
Bye, Mamie, good to see you.
Hey, Meme.
See you after the party.
Send me a copy of that. When you get something together, I just want to look at it quick.
Okay, are you talking about the news release?
The news release, yeah.
Hello, I said I was gonna send it past all of you because I'm not letting send it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
What you might want to do is that